I hear you see really cool things when you're tripping, especially when you're outside. I'll admit I was a little nervous when Ethan said he had found a guy that had some. Of course, in hypothetical situations I was always the first one to say I'd try it. But now that it was becoming an actuality, Ethan and I were going to meet up with this guy and get some. The guy had even offered to be our babysitter while we took it. Not knowing what to expect, Ethan had readily agreed. I was a little hesitant, worried about hanging out too long with a stranger. What if he was weird and made the vibe uncomfortable? Then we'd have a horrible trip and I would have wasted the money. He turned out to be pretty nice, although a little strange. He kept telling us to ingest it first, and then we'd go to the park nearby and he'd take us. Nervously, I looked to Ethan. He was putting the tiny tab on his tongue, closing his eyes in anticipated ecstasy. I timidly put the tab on mine and tried to think positive thoughts. I also heard going in with bad thoughts could lead to a bad trip. We got in the car and started driving out to the park, and after a few minutes my vision started to blur a little. I suddenly felt like I needed to close my eyes. I looked at Ethan, who apparently was having the same feeling as me. As his eyes were closed and his head rested against the window, I looked up to our driver. He was meeting my eyes in the rearview mirror. That's the last thing I remember. I fell asleep. When I woke up, I was strapped down to a table. I felt a hand touch my leg and I struggled to look up. It was our babysitter. Turning my head, I saw Ethan lying on a similar table and what looked to be a shower head above him. "Do you want to see?" he asked me. I stared blankly at him, confused. He pulled the handle and droplets poured out of the shower head. Ethan began screaming as they hit his body. I could hear the faint sound of sizzling. There weren't huge billows of smoke rising off his skin or deep holes forming, just the gentle sound of the skin burning and a red rash breaking out. Acid can be extremely fun but incredibly dangerous. I know we're talking about two different types of acid here, but I mean, really? Taking acid from a stranger who then offers to watch you? And you willingly just jumped in my car, eager to be taken for a ride with a man you had hardly known for half an hour? Well, you see where that got you. Now, Ethan, would you like to watch? He gripped the handle.